So my question to you guys all is, would you guys ever want to have a twin?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
For those of you that said yes, it is possible through cloning. Human cloning is important because it's important to know how far technology and science have gone throughout the years. I'm credible to talk about this because I have done extensive research on this topic. Learning about human cloning will help us understand the process of it and will also help us determine if it's the right or wrong thing to do. First, I'll give you a background information of what human cloning is. Then I'll talk about the pros and cons of the subject. And third, I will explain to you guys two forms of human cloning. So many of you might be asking, what is human cloning? In order for us to get a better understanding of what it is and the process of it, we have to take a look at background information. So many of you guys might know who Dolly the sheep is. She was the first one to be cloned. She was cloned in 1996 and she was born July 5th, 1996. But she died in 2003 from lung cancer. She was only 6.5. In 1997, another cloning occurred of 2 monkeys. And also that year, another mammal was cloned. It was Paul Dorset Lamb. Although there are a lot of animals that have been cloned, it is known that human cloning has not occurred yet, although many scientists say they have cloned a human embryo. There is no evidence that that's true. So what is cloning? According to the website Genetic Science Learning Center, published in January 6, 2014, states that clones are organisms that are exact genetic copies. Every single bit of DNA is identical. Clone comes from the Greek word clone, which is spelled K-L-O-N, which means twig. Cloning is an asexual method of reproduction. In order for someone to understand this topic, we have to go through the pros and cons on it. We could take a look at some pros. Many people think it's good for cloning to occur because we could be able to clone liver for people that have like liver cancer. We could also clone kidneys and clone a bone marrow for patients that have leukemia. According to the benefits of human cloning website, all of these are possible with cloning. Now let's take a look at the cons. According to the scholarly journal, an argument against cloning published December 10th states that some people are against cloning because the organisms that are cloned might have a shorter lifespan than regular organisms. They also might have genetic defects, and they also can be prone to disease. After you have learned the benefits and negative impacts, let's see what types of cloning there is. The first type of cloning is called artificial embryo twinning. This process mimics the same process of identical twins. Identical twins form the first days after the egg and the sperm meet. And each embryo is dividing on its own. The only difference in artificial embryo twinning is that all this process occurs outside in a petri dish and then later inserted into the surrogate mother. But Dolly the sheep was actually made by the somatic cell nuclear transfer, and this one's a little bit harder than the artificial embryo twinning. But The process is they first isolate the somatic cell, then they remove the nucleus and its entire DNA from the egg cell. Then they put the nucleus from the somatic cell into the egg cell. The egg cell is the and it behaves as a fertilized egg. And after all this process, it's later put into the surrogate mother. Now that we should wrap it up. Discussing the human cloning is important because it will help us get a better understanding of it and help us decide whether it's the right or wrong thing to do. Now that you have learned all of this, would you still want to have twins?